It was a typical afternoon at the downtown diner, alive with the familiar rhythm of clinking cutlery, low chatter, and the hiss of the grill. Among the regular lunchtime crowd, a tall, sharply dressed man sat alone in a corner booth. His graying hair and stern expression gave him a commanding presence, but it was his piercing eyes that truly stood out, eyes that seemed to see beyond the walls around him. Lily, a waitress in her mid-20s, approached his table with her notepad in hand. She offered a polite smile, despite the fatigue from her long shift. At first she didn't recognize him, but something about his intense gaze struck a chord of familiarity. "Can I get you anything else, sir?" she asked gently. The man glanced up from his phone, as though pulled from deep thought. "Actually, yes. A black coffee, please," he said in a voice that was both calm and commanding. "Coming right up," Lily replied, jotting it down before heading back to the counter. As she worked, refilling cups, delivering plates, her curiosity about the man grew. The diner was usually a place for locals, not someone who looked like he belonged in a boardroom or on TV. Something about him made her think he was someone important, maybe a politician or a businessman. Returning with the coffee, Lily lingered for a moment, trying to place him. "You seem like you've got a lot on your mind," she said casually as she set the cup in front of him. The man looked up, slightly surprised by her openness. He studied her face for a moment before responding. "I suppose you could say that. Sometimes a quiet moment is all you need to gather your thoughts." "I know exactly what you mean," she said with a nod, then turned to walk away. But as she stepped back behind the counter, an idea stirred in her heart, something she'd been meaning to do for days. Her hands trembled slightly as she wiped down the surface. There was a letter she had started writing, one she hadn't yet found the courage to finish. A letter that had been waiting for the right moment. She didn't know why she felt compelled to write it, or if anyone would even read it. But something about this man told her the time had come. She returned to it, her words flowing from a place deep inside her. When she folded the paper and slipped it into an envelope, her heart was pounding. Taking a deep breath, Lily approached the man's table again, the letter hidden behind her back. What if he didn't care? What if he tossed it aside without reading it? But something inside told her to move forward. "Can I help you with anything else?" the man asked, polite but clearly tired. "Actually, yes," Lily said softly, placing the envelope beside his coffee. "There's something I'd like you to read." He raised an eyebrow. "A letter?" She nodded. "I know this might seem strange, but I think you're the right person to see it." Without hesitation, he opened the envelope and began to read. As his eyes moved across the page, the diner seemed to quiet around them. Lily stood nearby, nervously watching his unreadable expression. The letter read, "Dear Sir, I've worked at this diner for a few years now, just trying to make ends meet. Every day I see people come and go, some hopeful, some struggling, but all of them just trying to get by. I've been thinking a lot about how we can do more for each other. I've heard you speak before. I may not agree with everything you say, but I do believe you have the power to make a difference. But what I'm asking for isn't political or grand, it's something simple. Help the people who are quietly suffering. The single moms working multiple jobs. The veterans coming home to empty houses. The families drowning in medical debt. These are the people whose voices often go unheard. I don't expect anything in return. I just hope this letter reaches you with the message I intended. When he finished reading, the man didn't speak right away. Instead, he sat in silence, the buzz of the diner fading into the background. Lily watched anxiously from the counter, unsure of how he would react. Finally, he looked up, his eyes softer now, something thoughtful flickering in his gaze. "Thank you," he said, voice quieter than before. "It's not every day someone hands me a letter like this." Lily said nothing. She had done all she could. Now it was in his hands. "You're right," he continued. "It's easy to forget the ones who don't make headlines, the ones who never ask for help but need it the most." Lily was stunned. She saw a genuine sense of understanding in his eyes. As he stood to leave, he paused and reached into his jacket pocket. He handed her a business card. "If you ever need anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out." Her hands shook slightly as she took the card. The name on it stopped her breath. Donald J. Trump. Beneath it, a phone, number and a website. She was speechless. "Thank you," she managed to say. Trump nodded once before turning and walking out of the diner. Lily stood frozen, still holding the card. She had never imagined her letter would lead to this. Something told her this wasn't the end, but just the beginning. The next few days passed in a blur. Lily went about her shifts, but her thoughts kept drifting to the letter and the man who read it. She didn't write it for fame or recognition. She simply wanted someone to listen. Now she had a direct line to one of the most powerful men in the country. Sitting at her kitchen table the next morning, coffee in hand, she debated whether to call the number on the card. What if it was just a token gesture? A polite way to dismiss her? But something inside her whispered that it might be real. She dialed the number. It rang 3 times. "Hello," came a calm voice. "Hi, this is Lily. I met Mr. Trump at a diner a few days ago. He gave me his card." "One moment, please." She waited, her heart pounding. Then a familiar voice came on the line. "Lily, it's Donald Trump." Her breath caught. "Yes." "Mr. Trump, thank you for taking the time." "I read your letter," he said. "It made me think. So tell me, what's really on your mind?" Taking a deep breath, Lily spoke from the heart. "I wrote that letter because I see so many people struggling. People who are overlooked, who have no voice. I believe those with influence like you can change things. Not just with words, but with action." There was a pause. Then Trump replied, "You're right. I think I understand now why you gave me that letter. It wasn't about politics. It was about people." In the weeks that followed, Lily kept in touch with Trump's team. Though still unsure what would come of it, she sensed her letter had truly resonated. Then one afternoon, just before closing, her phone rang. "Lily, it's Donald Trump. We've been working on something inspired by your letter. Programs to help people like those you described. And I want you to be part of it." Lily was stunned. I don't know what to say." "Say you'll help us shape it," he said. "I believe this is just the beginning." Lily was invited to a meeting in New York City, somewhere she'd never imagined herself going. As she stepped off the plane, nerves battled excitement. She didn't know what the future held, but for the first time in a long time, she felt hopeful. There, she met with a team brought together by one letter, a team working on real solutions for real people. And at the center of it all was a waitress.